Coming up on Mountain News this morning, we hear from a Kentuckian who made it out of Israel. Plus, one federal administrator tours the mountains talking to folks about recovering from flood damage.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:31 on October 11th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Evan Hatter for a look at your forecast this morning. Evan, it's another chilly morning out there. Definitely not a bad day to grab a hot cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
I don't know that it's an iced coffee kind of day.
Well, for some of us, it is always kind of an iced coffee day when it's just...
Maybe.
See, I find it's just easier to get the caffeine in when you don't have to wait for it to cool down. That's just me.
That's true. That's true.
You know.
I prefer iced coffee, but when it's cold, I don't know.
It may be a warm cup type morning for folks out there, especially if you're socked in with some of the fog. It has improved in spots, but still looking at foggy scene there. It's lifting a little bit there from our Pikeville Medical Center camera. It was a little lower if you checked in with us a little bit earlier as we get closer and closer to sunrise. Still about an hour away at this point. The fog kind of looming over downtown Pikeville. Temperatures in the 30s in spots, 39 Jonesville, 37 Williamsburg, Hazard, Grundy, 35 in Clintwood. Otherwise, a lot of us, it's also 35 up there in Irvin. I just noticed that one. Otherwise, it is in the low to mid 40s elsewhere. And we'll start to see those temperatures come up into the 50s over the next little while. Your forecast first. The kiddos are going to need the jacket as they head out to school this morning with temperatures in the low 40s to start the day and that plenty of fog. This afternoon, make sure they don't forget the jacket in the cubby or the locker because it's going to be warmer into the mid and upper 60s to near 70 this afternoon. They may not even need a jacket the next couple of days with temperatures flirting with the 80-degree mark. The details on that in a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Evan, thank you. Earlier this week, we shared with you that Alan Dodson, a well-known pastor who lives in Somerset, was trying to get out of Israel. And yesterday, we learned that he is out. I was able to speak with him on a FaceTime call while he was in Amman, Jordan, and I learned what the last few days have been like for him. After days of uncertainty, finally on Tuesday morning, Alan Dodson was able to leave Israel via the North Jordanian border control, eventually making it to the Amman Jordan airport where I spoke to him before getting on a flight to Cairo, Egypt.
We'll be there for a few hours and then hopefully at JFK in New York by 9 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. And I know you said in some of your Facebook videos you posted that you haven't really felt scared or like you were in a bad situation, but can you really just describe what it's like and what it's been like for the people you've been around?
Friday evening, I was in meetings in Ashkelon, which was ground zero for the attack. I was there after dark and literally on the beach in Ashkelon. And then before dawn, everything broke out. And so, just being that close to what happened, I can't describe how eerie that really feels.
After being in Ashkelon on Friday, Dodson says he has spent the rest of his time in the interior of the country.
Just throughout the country, there's an ominous feel. There's constant Israeli aircraft presence monitoring from above.
However, in our conversation, he explains that through it all, the Lord has been near.
It's the land of his chosen people, and you have that knowledge that he is superintending things there, looking over things. So a lot of confidence in that, of course.
And as he continues on his journey home, he says he can't thank the Commonwealth of Kentucky enough for their love and support, not just today, but through the loss of his son Andrew earlier in the year as well.
The state of Kentucky, our whole Commonwealth, has been so close to our family for other reasons for 6 months now. And I'm overwhelmed just by all the thoughts, the prayers, the well wishes. I've had people to reach out to me and offer just unbelievable things to help me get home. So just thank you to my fellow Kentuckians.
Awesome. To see an interview we did with Dodson earlier this year on Issues and Answers, where he briefly talked about spending time in Israel, you can go to our website. Yesterday, we heard from Governor Andy Beshear on the conflict. He has ordered all flags at state office buildings to be lowered to half staff until sunset on Friday. It's to honor the victims killed in Israel. He also encouraged individuals, businesses, and other government agencies to lower their flags as well. We caught up with the governor and learned he feels a personal connection.
Well, Brittany and I are praying for the families of Israel, having lost a close friend in an act of violence. This terrorist attack and how many people that it has taken, thousands of Israeli and other families impacted. We hurt for and we pray for each and every one of those families.
The governor was referencing his late friend Tommy Elliott, who was killed in the mass shooting at Louisville's Old National Bank back in April. A Franklin County man was arrested at a church in Laurel County after police received a call of a man acting inappropriately. 48-year-old Ted Rogers of Frankfort was arrested last week at a church north of London. Deputies with the Laurel County Sheriff's Office noticed a smell of alcohol coming from Rogers, and he later admitted he had been drinking earlier in the day. Rogers was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Bell County woman is behind bars after she failed to appear in court. Last Saturday, deputies with the Knox County Sheriff's Department arrested 36-year-old Ashley Edwards on a Bell County bench warrant for failure to appear on a public intoxication controlled substance charge. A small plastic bag containing suspected meth and a large number of counterfeit pills were found in her possession during the arrest. She was taken to the Knox County Detention Center. 2 Monticello men are facing charges after they were busted for running a meth lab. Monday night, deputies with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office arrested Bradley Foster and Jimmy Brummett after it was discovered they were running a shake and bake meth lab. Both men were arrested on multiple charges, including manufacturing methamphetamine. They were taken to the Wayne County Detention Center. Police in Madison County are investigating an attempted murder case involving an elderly couple. The incident happened last Friday as police responded to a domestic violence situation between 96-year-old Seymour Taffler and his 90-year-old wife, Elaine Taffler. Police say Taffler told them neither he nor his wife had long to live. Seymour Taffler spent days in the Madison County Jail but was released yesterday afternoon. A man who has been called one of the foremost experts on Appalachian life and culture has died. In a post on social media, Berea College announced Loyal Jones died last Saturday at his home in North Carolina. Jones was a graduate of the college back in 1954 and is an award-winning songwriter. Jones received the East Kentucky Leadership Tony Turner Award back in 2017. He was 95 years old. Community leaders from across the region met with federal administrator to discuss flood recovery. WYMT's Chandler Wilcox tells us about some of the main talking points.
A tour across the region started early in Jackson. Community leaders gathered to talk to federal administrator Andy Burke, who works in rural development.
We really do care and understand how big of a task you have in eastern Kentucky.
More than a year after the flood, recovery is continuing.
We still have several people without water, and we still have several people that's never had access to water.
Burke's second stop was here in Knott County, where organizations are planning to build more than 200 homes in this area.
It is millions of dollars it costs to build a road, run water and sewer, and those are just resources that we don't have locally.
HDA and other organizations are partnering along with the state government to build the homes. Andy Burke says the federal government supports regional projects building back.
And so as we build back, we want to ensure from the rural utility service side that you have the water and the electricity and the high-speed internet.
When it comes to local organizations getting the funding they need, USDA State Director Tom Carew gave Burke his vote of confidence.
Andy's one of us. He's former mayor of the city of Chattanooga, so he understands what it is to work locally and use the federal resources to rebuild your community.
There's no clear amount of funding that came out of the discussions, but community leaders and Burke say progress has been made. In Knott County, Chandler Wilcox, WYMT Mountain News.
Andy Burke also toured other counties in the area. He will also be Steve Hensley's guest on Issues and Answers Monday night at 7.
Chilly air and foggy conditions in parts of the mountains this morning, but less foggy than yesterday morning. Here's the view from downtown Somerset. We've seen the cars get a little more active as we've gotten a little closer to the morning rush out there. Chilly, 41 degrees in Somerset this morning. You see some of that fog hanging tough along US 119, US 23 in Jenkins. And yes, we are continuing to see the chilly air as well. 37 Hazard into Grundy and Williamsburg, 35 Clintwood and Irvin. Contrast that with low to mid 40s elsewhere. So we're slowly going to warm up into the 50s as we head into this afternoon. Just know if you're headed out this morning, yellow car on the travel forecast because of that fog. Leave some extra time to get where you need to go. By this afternoon, we're a little cloudy, yes, but mild and no big travel hazards as we work through the afternoon. Even warmer weather on the way before the week's out. Those details in just a little bit. Olivia?
Thanks, Evan, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:42. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. American aid arrives in Israel as the nation amps up its airstrikes on Gaza.